I love it. The snow outside, it feels a little bit like more like Christmas, more like winter, right? So let's sing about it. We're going to sing about sleighing. You all know this one, Jingle Bells. If you have anything to jingle, feel free to jingle along. And stand up and sing with me, okay? All right, let's do it. Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun. They're going to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on dovetail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white and the night is young. Take the sleigh tonight and join us in the song. Just get a bobtail babe, get ready for a ride, then hitch him to an open sleigh and man, we'll have some fun. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. All right.
Welcome and good morning, Unity. My name is Annette Gipp. What a pleasure to see you all here on Celebration Sunday on a day where we're going to talk about peace. Boy, we need some of that. Before we get rolling, remember to put any of your devices on meditation mode. No beeping and no music. We have beautiful music today from our higher ground. We don't need your ringtone. Each Sunday we come together to celebrate our oneness with each other and with God. We welcome people of every culture, lifestyle, and creed. We honor the many paths to God, the many names for God, and the many ways in which to experience God. Whatever your path and wherever you are on it today, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. We are grateful for the presence of God within each of us and the expression of love, joy, and truth in our lives. Today we join with people around the world in sharing our daily word. And today's daily word is hope. I behold the wonder of God. Watching children discover the wonders of life reminds me that God is the source of life, at the center of everyone. Holding this truth in mind, I know that each and every creation is precious to God, because I know that all of nature is to be treasured. I help preserve the environment that supports that abundance of life. I honor God by honoring all creation because of our shared sacred heritage. Nothing can come between individuals or nations except our resistance to accepting who we are as God's created. As I view the abundance and diversity of life with wonder, I take in the awesomeness of God that continues to unfold. I am eager to live from an awareness of the sacred presence that sustains all life. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. Matthew 18:5. For your daily serenity, it's a beautiful way to start the morning in a positive way. Don't put the news on, do this. And you can get your own copy of the Daily Word in large or regular size print. And we have the January, February here, so you can get that at the table. And now, Reverend Heidi is going to lead us in celebration and an opening prayer.
Let's give a hand.
Is it, yeah, excellent. All right. Good morning. Yes, that's right. I know you guys have all that energy in you. So thanks for bringing that beautiful energy that is you to Unity in Chicago this morning. This chair has been waiting for you, and this soul awakening is your birthright. So I'm glad you're here. And we come together because where two or three are gathered, there is a greater sense of wellness of God. And that's why we show up. So it's a wonderful place to sort of just relax into your divinity and to the word peace today, because we're going to talk about being a peacemaker. So this is the season of Advent. It's the 4 Sundays leading up to Easter. And, oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, well, it's not a Jingle Bell song at Easter time, Heidi. All right. So leading up to Christmas, just want to make sure you know where you are. We have this wonderful book that Unity Worldwide puts out every year. It's called, it's an Advent book, but it's called The Love and Light of Christmas. And it's about living each of these principles that we're talking about. Last week was faith. This week is peace. Next week is love, and then joy. And I invite you to pick one up. You know, you're welcome to leave a love offering, but they're for you. We have 100 of them, and we still have a big pile. So be sure, and then it's a daily book during the time of Advent. And I'd like to read today from Living Peace, because the whole idea is how do we live this? So just invite you to close your eyes for a moment, and I'll read from our Advent book for today. Living Peace. We envision the birth of Jesus occurring in a setting of great peace. From this auspicious beginning, he grew to become the Prince of Peace, our way shower for living a life of love, peace, and compassion. We each have within us a deep well of peace. It lies at the very center of our being. Anytime we feel unsettled, anxious, or upset, we can return to the abiding peace of the Christ within. We can live peace, know peace, and be peace. And from Thessalonians, may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in all ways. So let us affirm as we do at Unity to ignite that truth within you. I can live peace. Together, I can live peace. I can know peace. I can know peace. I can be peace. And we breathe into that shift of vibration. And if you repeat after me, I am. God is. We are. And all is well. Fantastic. Thank you. So, the ability to live as peace, to be a peacemaker, is what our conversation is about today. And we're going to light our candles over here because we want to remember that we are the light of the world. And when we come together, there's even a greater sense of that. So I'm coming over here to the Advent wreath. And thank you. Anyways, my candle lighting doesn't sound this nice at home, but when Peter's here, it's always a great time to light a candle. All right, so the first candle is for faith, and that was last week. Our lovely Gabby led that talk. And, let's see here. You can do it. All right, and so then this candle is for peace today. All right. So I'd like us to really practice the feeling of that. And if you'll just put your hand on your heart and think of a way in the world that you bring light to the world. You may have forgotten somebody you just smiled at this morning, a pet that you are, for whom you are the caretaker, or a child, a garden, a song that you sing, that light of the world that is your natural way of being. And in that energy, let us say, I am the light of the world. Together, I am the light of the world. And then we are mirrors for one another. So look at somebody next to you and say, you are the light of the world. You're the light of the world. Charlie, you're the light of the world. 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 You're the light of the world at home. All right. So very nice. And so with that energy of saying it about ourselves and each other, now we really want to send this to every living being on this planet, recognizing that when we know we are the light of the world, we can remind people of that truth. And so I'd like you to just close your eyes, rub your hands together for a moment, and let's put our hands up to this universe. I'd like you to just reflect on all the living creatures on this planet, all the peoples, the cultures, the languages, and that we want to inspire that in every single one of us that's here on this lovely, lovely planet. So we say we are the light of the world 3 times, holding our planet, our leaders, our countries in peace. So let us say that together. We are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. We are the light of the world. And we breathe into that truth. So, very nice. All right. We've done a lot of things, just affirming all that truth. We're going to start by saying thank you. I wanted to thank Martha Keller and others. I know Marina was here at an early service, decorated this tree and in the Sunshine Gallery and downstairs, and just thank them when you see them, and just take it in that somebody did all this for us. So big love to them and big thank you to them. They're just the prettiest tree. I'm really very impressed, Martha. She does a lot of zhuzh. We call her our zhuzh queen, so she's great with that. We're also, one of the things we're doing that you've all done every Christmas is this experience called Compassionate Christmas, where we talk about where we work with nonprofits in our community. We donate clothing, also money. We know Daisy Fuentes was here from Central Romero 2 weeks ago, and then last week was Goldie's Place, and Michael was here, Mace, and this Sunday we're talking about Care for Real. I also want to really thank Sarah Bibick and Jake and Zoe, the Bibick clan, that has been so the igniters of this Compassionate Christmas. We thank you all so much, and let's give Sarah and Jake a hand. Thank you, darling. Yes, love you. Oh, yeah.
So Zoe's working the table downstairs. She was just in a lock-in with the YOUs this weekend, so she's just kind of waking up. So I said, why don't you stay down and man the table? So I wanted to thank you so much. I think this is my 4th or 5th year taking on this responsibility, and I just adore it. It's my favorite time of year, and it's the time where all I do is I kind of just create the tube that your energy goes to these different organizations. So it's really fantastic. So this is our 3rd and last week to collect for all 3 organizations. So we're welcoming your monetary gifts today. If you have any toys, we're going to be giving them to Care for Real for their families. Or if you have any warm weather gear for Goldie's Place, we'll collect that today as well. Or your cash, check, or charge. We can take all of them downstairs at the table. So thank you so much for allowing us to do this. It's really been a great pleasure.
We made a difference this Christmas.
We sure did. So I'm really, really pleased to introduce to you today Care for Real. I know this is an organization that Unity has given to in the past, but this is a great chance to meet somebody from the organization. Ed O'Connell has been a board member there for a number of years, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the organization. Thank you so much. Here is Ed.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Ed O'Connell. Hold it up this time. Care for Real is an organization in Edgewater that provides mostly food for people who need it. We help vulnerable individuals and families overcome difficult times with dignity. Food, referrals, and clothing are all part of our mission. We've been at work in Edgewater for about 45 years now. We're located on Sheridan Road, just north of Foster. We serve roughly 3,000 households per month with food, which comes out to be about 5,000 individual people. And these are folks who just can't put enough food on the table. We have a clothing area. We provide clothing for people, largely folks who are looking for jobs or who need some particular assistance. We usually are able to provide clothing assistance for about 100 people per month. And we distribute food 63 hours each month. So we have a lot of volunteers. Once a month, there's a pet pantry for people who have pets but have some trouble providing proper food for the pets. So we do have a pet pantry also. In our Employment Resource Center, we help people who are in need of assistance of resume writing. We help them with their online interviews, and we help them establish interview skills to make it easier for them to find employment. A number of times a year we have special events. Right now we're getting ready for our Christmas toy distribution, in which you all are very significantly involved. And it's set up in a way that provides families the ability to choose toys for their children that are appropriate for their children, and I think help them to feel dignified when they're doing it. We're not just giving them toys, but they can go in and choose the toys themselves for their family. We also, in September, provide school supplies, so families who have trouble providing the things that their children need for school are able to make those choices at Care for Real once in September. We utilize about 52,000 hours a year in volunteer help. So it's a very busy place. So with that, I will get off of this part of it, and you can get on with the real work that you're here for. Thank you so much.
I'm checking this. So also there is you can sign up, Ed's downstairs, you can sign up on their sign-in sheet. You can certainly volunteer at Care for Real, and Ed can answer questions. I know Sarah shared it in earlier, the last service, that we were raising around $500 for each organization last year, and this year we've raised about $1,000 for each organization. So thank you all so much. Really a beautiful thing. All right, so we have a very special lady in the house we're going to honor in just a moment, but we are wanting to thank and welcome our Higher Ground choir. I'd like to just tell you one thing I said at the earlier service, that I really want to thank them. I know a number of people that have come to join the choir this year and have felt so welcomed and so loved, and I really want to just thank you all so much for letting folks come into your wonderful community and sing with you. So without further ado, Higher Ground, led by Scotty Zucker. Here we go.
Good morning. Before we sing this morning, we want to honor a dear friend of the choir, Peggy Lipschitz. Peggy was born in 1918 on this day, and she is 99 years old today. Peggy's a dear friend of mine, and I have spent a lot of time with her, and I've really enjoyed learning about her life. She was born in London, and she moved to the U.S. shortly before World War II, came to England, and she's had a very full life. When the war was going on, Peggy used to draw diagrams for the military manuals for the Navy. And she was always trying to put in little mermaids and sea creatures, but the Navy always took those out and told her not to do that. But she thought the sailors on the boats kind of needed that. So she has spent her life painting and promoting peace and,
I said this earlier, and I was like, how am I going to remember all that? Peace, diversity, and just equality. Thank you. That's it. Equality. So she has also spent time in classrooms in the Chicago area where she taught peace through folk songs, and she drew while other people sang, and so she's touched a lot of lives. And we're also very happy to have here today her two daughters, Joan and Ruth. Thank you so much for coming today to celebrate with us.
And I also wanted to thank Peggy. I remember she was much younger. I think she was 93 when she joined the choir, and I know that she wasn't able to play the cello anymore, so she joined the choir to continue to be musical. And so we loved having her in the choir, and so we're very grateful to be able to sing happy birthday to her. And here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Peggy. Happy birthday to you.
So feel that joy in your heart, and let's give another amazing round of applause for these folks. Thank you all. Thank you all for being peacemakers. So we're going to talk today about the spiritual law of peace, of being a peacemaker. A.J. Must continues to work in my head every time I think of peace. And his quote is, "There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. We'll do a little call and response if you're willing. There's no way to peace. All right, just y'all are helping me out here. Okay, peace is the way. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Because I don't know about you, but there's been time in my life where I'm sort of, okay, I want peace, and like, when's it showing up? And, I'm kind of like, I've been waiting a long time for this peace stuff. But, unity is a fascinating place because unity is really what I call spirit school, right? We come here to learn something more true about ourselves and then to bring that out in the world. So we come here to learn something that then we go out into the world as peacemakers. It is not a place where you're told you have to say this and you have to do that and you have to stand up and you have to, well, we kind of do, they have to stand up and sing the jingle bells. But besides that, there's not a you have to, there is a allowing. So it's not a supposed to, it's an allowing. And it can feel really awkward at times because I didn't realize I was a peacemaker. I didn't realize that was sort of my birthright and my purpose and what I already had. There's nothing missing. There's no peace missing in the world. There's just this lack of ability for people to know how powerful they are in their peace consciousness. So there's no way to peace. Peace is the way. Now, in our search to sort of make people different, do any of you ever do that? Make the world different, make something different. We can get sort of off track a little bit. There was a grandmother that had sent checks to her grandchildren for a long time and never received a thank you note. And she was troubled by this. And so she decided to do something different. And the next year, all her grandkids came to her home. And her neighbor said, this is strange. I know you've been bothered by this for a long time. How did this change? She said, I did something different this year. I didn't sign the checks. Oh, we can be so clever in trying to create peace. So the idea today, and my intention today, is to talk about people that were peacemakers in this world, and to allow something in you perhaps to vibrate differently by the time you leave today. And so you can really become more clear about how to create peace in the world through something you already have. So I want to show you some quotes about peace. I also quotes about the other part that is the piece about being angry. Ralph Waldo Emerson talked about being angry, and he says, he's one of the New Thought leaders, he says, for every minute you remain angry, you give up 60 seconds of peace of mind. All right? So we realize, and it's very human nature-ish, to do this anger story and to do the what's wrong in the world story. But every time that you're in anger and you're not aware that this has sort of happened to me, you're giving up your peace of mind. This quote has always been one of my favorites around peace. And then when I read about the people that say these quotes, I'm always equally inspired. A.J. Must, born on January 8th, 1885, he was a vibrant example of Christian nonviolence in the 20th century. In 1909, he was ordained as a minister in the Dutch Reformed Church, and during the 1920s, he was a trade union activist. A.J. Must became executive secretary of the Fellowship of Reconciliation for the Religious Pacifist Organization in 1940, a position he held until 1953. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way, is perhaps the most famous statement by this idealist. The way of peace is a seamless garment that must cover the whole of life and must be applied in all relationships, he wrote. During the 1960s, Must was a key organizer of the broad anti-war movement in response to the Vietnam War. This is fascinating. Once a reporter asked him, do you really think you're going to change the policies of this country by standing out here alone at night in front of the White House with a candle? A.J. Must replied softly, Oh, I don't do this to change the country. I do this so the country won't change me. How many of us have been changed by this country? How many of us have been affected by conflicts and challenges? And it's just the noticing of it. It's not like, oh gosh, I'm such a weak person, or what. It's just the noticing of it. Can you imagine this kind of philosophy? I do this. I come to church. I walk in my, these peace rallies. I do my thing. I am wanting to create peace in my family, in the world, because I don't want the world to change me. I want to be the soul that is living my purpose. And these people that do this then pass this baton and torch along to us. I look at people and on. Susan B. Anthony was all about women having the right to vote, and she died before women had the right to vote. But was her life in any way invaluable? Of course not, right? So the peacemaker is an energy of getting really clear about what it is that is important to you, and then walking this path. We had an extraordinary class on Thursday night. We're reading the book, The Soul of Money, by Lynn Twist. Who's another peace activist in the world. And she talks about, in fact, we were talking about your legacy. I bring up the quote about legacy. She says, the life you live is the legacy you leave. The life you live is the legacy you leave. So, you don't have to be the Nobel Peace winner. You don't have to sort of have a statue created. It is your life. It's the energy that you're putting into the world. That's the legacy you leave. So isn't it important that we line up with how we want to leave this world? It was a wonderful class because she was with her mother the last month of her mother's life. And her mother decided to make it a very conscious conversation the last month of her life. And she got together with Lynn, and they talked a lot about what her mother had done in the world. She'd been part of a lot of groups of creating peace on the planet. But she recognized how much she had done just by being present. And I'd like you just to take a moment to think about one thing you have done in this lifetime. We all look over 10 years old, so certainly there is something. There are many, many things that you've done. Just smiling at someone. Certainly if you have an animal, or you've tended a garden, or you've sung a song. You've said something at a 12-step meeting. You've prayed with someone. It just goes on and on to recognize your value in the world and this peace you've already brought. It was extraordinary for us to go around and people really take a moment to stop and say, I have created peace in the world. I am a peacemaker. How easy it has been to not tell yourself that. Much at all. And then she wrote letters to people that had been in her life that somehow maybe she'd forgotten to notice. She wrote this beautiful letter to her dry cleaner. And she said, you've been my dry cleaner for 25 years. You've always been so kind and so available. And I don't know if I've said thank you. And I want to say thank you. And my life is about to end. I want you to come to my funeral. I'm going to send you an invitation. My daughter is here. She's going to talk to you. I want you to sit with my family. And I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. And she called her manicurist and all of the people in her life. In fact, they say in the book, she got out the yellow pages. I don't know what that is, right? She's calling these people. And so our charge for the class was to take this week to go out and say thank you, just to notice the people that are already in your life. There's a man that works at the door in my building, and he's the nicest man, and a number of them. But I just stopped this week and I said, I just want to thank you for being so pleasant. Just saying hello. I can't even imagine what all the people in and out of here, and thank you. And it was just this moment where you could tell it meant everything to him. And, it really helped me feel this sense of how wonderful everything is sort of set up in my life to experience peace, and how sometimes I really don't notice this. I also had the wonderful experience of going to the Social Security office in the last couple weeks. I couldn't find my Social Security card, and I needed it for renewing a driver's license and this kind of thing. And so I was down talking to my parking attendant, and the day before there had been a lot of people there. So I was talking to the man that's going to get my car, and I said, I'm going to go again. It's early, so I'm hoping this is going to work this time. One of my favorite places, Social Security Administration. And he said to me, he looks at me, goes, Heidi, just think positive thoughts. I'm like, not bad. I said, thank you so much. He goes, just think positive thoughts about it. There's going to be nice people there, and it's morning, so there probably won't be many people. I thought, that's great. I said, where did you get that? Where did you learn that? He goes, I got that from you. I'm like, what? He said, a year ago, I was dealing with I don't know what, and you said, think positive thoughts. I thought, really? It was, but it's just, you just get to see. There's no way to peace. Right, peace is the way. So I'm just engaging with the people that, maybe I wouldn't. And what starts to happen is this fullness of you that was already there just starts to blossom. It's like, you're a flower and you're putting water and it's just blossoming. The flower, all that stuff was already in there. We need to put the joy, the love, the nurturance of peace on our lives and notice how much of it you have. There is another lady. I love A.J. Must. I'm just loving him out there going, I'm not going to let this country change me. I'm holding my candle. There's another lady that was a remarkable soul that just decided again to prove peace. See, peace is a spiritual law. If you haven't noticed, all these things like prosperity and and love, it's where there's nothing empty in us with any of these things, so we have to prove them. We have to prove them, often in the midst of the thing that doesn't feel lovable. I had a good friend of mine that was really struggling getting sober, and I found myself, frustrated that she couldn't get it. There's so much help out there, and all the things we do, why can't she do this, right? And so, but I finally realized I was never going to help her unless I could experience peace in the situation. So when she called, I had a drink again. I said, you are valuable, right? Having a drink, not having a drink, yes, that might not bring out the best in you, but you are valuable, and I love you no matter what, right? So that's what I can bring rather than, let me tell you what I know about what you need to do, right? I don't know. Does that ever work for anybody? Not so much. So the idea is, how do we live in this sense of the peace that we have inside of us being ignited? That's why we meditate in the morning, right? That's why you want to have the stillness in the morning so you can remember who you are. There's my Starbucks friend, and you bring me lots of joy, so thank you, right? Yes, all right. One more person. I'm going to come talk to you. All right, so let's just, before I bring up this lady, I just really want to bring up our way shower Jesus. And his comments on peace. Jesus in general was bringing peace, walking around, reminding people who he was, spending time in his quiet time to remember who he was. But he says, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Why do you think Jesus left his peace with us? Because we're supposed to share it. We're supposed to move it. We're supposed to live it. We're supposed to be it. Yeah? Not as the world, not as the news, not what they say is what CNN is constantly negative news. Don't go in there. You can, but watch how your peace goes, right? Oh gosh, I love these people. Oh my gosh, well, amazing. I love all these people fighting. I'm sending my peace that way, right? If you can do that, it's fantastic. But this is what Jesus was saying, not as the world does, but as your Christ consciousness, as this energy that is within you. All right, so does anybody know who Mildred Lisette Norman is, besides the choir? They were here at the first service. I got y'all's number. So does anybody know who Mildred Lisette Norman is? All right, well, she's an American non-denominational spiritual teacher, mystic, pacifist, vegetarian, and a peace activist. And in 1952, she became the first woman to walk the entire length of the Appalachian Trail in one season. Soon after this, on January 1st, 1953, the Peace Pilgrim began her pilgrimage. She was named the Peace Pilgrim. She named herself. After leading the Rose Parade in California, she just carried on walking. It just reminds me of Forrest Gump. I just kept going, right? I just keep on going. She just kept on walking. She continued across the country for almost 12 months, eventually arriving at the United Nations building in New York the following December. And in fact, from this point on, Peace Pilgrim never really stopped walking. With no possessions except a toothbrush, one set of clothes, a comb, and a pencil, she's writing down some notes. She crisscrossed the United States 7 times on foot, as well as walking in Canada and Mexico, wearing a tunic with the words Peace Pilgrim on the front and 25,000 miles on foot for peace on the back. She found that she could rely on strangers to approach her, to give her food and a bed for the night, and sometimes she slept outside. In effect, she was a wandering monk, supported by lay people. She walked an average of 25 miles a day, often stopping for speaking engagements or interviews along the way, particularly as she became more well-known. So I was looked up the Peace Pilgrim. I've heard about her for years, and I knew what she looked like, but I never really heard her in an interview. The interview I want you to listen to was the day before she died. She died, interestingly enough, she was in Knox, Indiana, doing a talk, and someone picked her up in a car to take her to the place, and she was in a car accident. But I can tell you with this interview, you will see that she was one with spirit. And I was listening to this interview, and I kept thinking, we'll do 2 minutes, we'll do 3 minutes, and then I just kept hearing her experience peace, be peace. And so I'd like you all to really be with the transmission of this amazing soul, like Jesus and like Must and like the Peace Pilgrim, this mysticism of peace, this law of peace that can guide our lives and completely change the way we see the world. So please be with the Peace Pilgrim.
Peace, let's talk a little bit about this wandering that you have done for peace. How did it all come about?
Well, it started January 1st of 1953 from Los Angeles, California. And that year I set out to walk across the country, which I did. Zigzag across 5,000 continuous miles. And then I just continued. I'm on my 7th pilgrimage route now, which is my 7th crossing of the country. I have covered the 50 states, the 10 Canadian provinces, parts of Mexico, and it's an effort to do everything one little person can do for peace. I walk prayerfully and as an opportunity to talk with many people and perhaps inspire them to do something for peace also in their own way.
Peace, what brings you to Knox specifically?
I was invited to come to Knox by an old friend of mine, Gertrude Ward. I met her elsewhere, so this is my first visit to Knox. And of course, I do this all the time. It's a part of my regular pilgrimage for peace. I have no money. I don't accept any money. I belong to no organization, so there is no organizational backing behind me. And I own only what I wear and carry, and I just walk until given shelter, fast until given food. Don't even ask. It's given without asking. I tell you, people are good. There's a spark of good in everybody, no matter how deeply buried. Now, it used to be that my invitations were just on the spur of the moment. From total strangers, I was offered a bed about 3/4 of the time, and I seldom skipped more than 3 or 4 meals in a row. But now, my invitations often come in advance. And of course, that was the case with my invitation to Knox.
Peace, let me ask you this. Was it always Peace Pilgrim, or did you have a name as a little girl?
Oh, it isn't my old name, but if you were to address a letter to my old name, I would not even receive the letter. I'm very much Peace Pilgrim now. I'm told that it's a professional name, consistently used, you see. It has been my legal name now for some 10 or 12 years because, of course, it was taken way back in 1953 when I first started on my pilgrimage. And things have changed a good deal since then. But I will say one thing has not changed, and that is my peace message. It still remains, this is the way of peace. Overcome evil with good, and falsehood with truth, and hatred with love. That's still the message that I'm carrying after all these years. Well, you see, we haven't learned to live it yet. The key word for our times is really practice. It isn't more light we have, it's putting into practice what light we already have. When we do that, wonderful things will happen within our lives and within our world.
Peace Pilgrim, you know, there are a certain number of people who would not even think of doing this, that would probably think of somebody like yourself as a kook or a nut. Do you have a problem overcoming this barrier with some people?
Well, I'm quite sure that some of those who have just heard of me must think I'm completely off the beam. After all, I am doing something different, and pioneers have always been looked upon as being a bit strange. But you see, I love people, and I see the good in them, and you're apt to reach what you see. The world is like a mirror. If you smile at it, it smiles at you. I love to smile, and so in general, I definitely receive smiles in return. I have been supplied with everything I needed on my pilgrimage without even asking for it.
You walk this country of ours without so much as a penny in your pocket. You just walk on faith alone, faith that somebody will take care of you, and it always seems to happen. You must have some intuition as to who to approach and who to smile to and who is going to be good to you, though, don't you?
I smile to everyone. I never approach anyone. I'm wearing my short tunic with Peace Pilgrim on the front and 25,000 miles on foot for peace on the back. So folks will stop and talk, and lots of them do. It makes all my contacts for me in the kindest way. And those who come are very special. They're either genuinely interested in peace or they have a good, lively curiosity. You see, there's a good deal of interest in peace now. When I started out, people accepted war as a necessary part of life. And now, of course, we're looking for alternatives to war. It's a gain, actually. It's better than it was. And when I started out, there was very little interest in the inner search. Now there's an almost universal interest in the inner search, which to me is the greatest gain of all. And of course, since I talk mostly about peace within ourselves as a step toward peace in our world, there is an increasing interest in my subject.
Peace, the Bible tells us that wars will always be with us. What do you say to people who say that? Do you think that this one little effort can make a difference?
It actually says that there will be wars and rumors of wars, but that prophecy has been fulfilled amply throughout the century. I don't see why we should want any more fulfillment of that prophecy. It also says, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Perhaps the time has come for the fulfillment of that prophecy. I believe it has. I think this, of course, is what all of us really desire, and yet there is so much pessimism. I was talking to a lady who said, I'm praying with you for peace, but of course I don't believe it's possible. I said, don't you think peace is in accordance with God's will? Oh, yes, she said, I know it is. I said, well, how can you tell me that that which is in accordance with God's will is not possible? It's not only possible, it's inevitable. Only how soon is up to us. Now, I know that all good effort bears good fruit. And so I keep on making what good effort I can. I leave results in God's hands. They may not be manifest in my lifetime, but eventually they will be manifest.
Peace, it's not good to, on a regular sense, walk up to a woman that you have just met and say, how old are you? But I'm going to chance it today. I'm going to ask you how old you are.
I can only tell you that I do not know, and this is deliberate on my part. We create constantly through thought, including we create our age. I had created sufficient age when I started out January 1st of 1953, and I said, that's enough. From that time on, I thought of myself as being ageless and in radiant health, and I am. I haven't gotten younger, but I see no point in getting younger. I can get along just fine as I am. And if you have learned the lessons of the seasons of life before, you really have no wish to return to a prior season of life.
Peace Pilgrim has been my guest today. In her literature, she says, Peace Pilgrim is on my back, 25,000 miles on foot for peace. And she has finished walking those miles, but she continues to walk. For her vow is, I shall remain a wanderer until mankind has learned the way of peace, walking until I am given shelter and fasting until I am given food. Appears to be a most happy woman.
I certainly am a happy person. Who could know God and not be joyous? I want to wish you all peace.
It's truly a transmission, isn't it? Yeah? You smile at the world, and the world will smile back at you. You know? We have really a great opportunity be alive right here and right now. Somebody came out of the line and said, you know, you should put Donald Trump on your prayer list up there in front of this congregation. And I went, thank you so much for telling me that. You know? So this idea of what is it that you want to bring into the world as the peacemaker that you are? It's not a question if you are or you are not. It is that you are. A Peace Pilgrim wandered out into the forest, and a lot of frustration before she started this, and she was absolutely seeking from the universe for it to be known to her, her purpose. And then she just started to walk. So I invite you all in this time, because we're not here by mistake, we're all here by divine appointment, to consider that in your life. It could be the simplest thing as talking to the people that are all around you and saying thank you. If you want to start walking, head south, I would suggest. But the idea of really trusting that this universe is 100% orchestrated for your awakening. And I know if any of us set out with peace in our mind, everything we would need would be given. It is the law. It is the law. I'd like to put a couple things up here that I got from Peace Pilgrim and Muntz and Jesus and Peggy Lipschitz and all the people that have been given their lives to peace, and all of us, right? When you have everything you have everything you need to make a difference. When you bring peace, you find peace. Peace requires inspired action. Yes, peace is not just sitting around waiting for peace to happen. It is getting out there in the world and doing your thing. It could be marrying the right woman. I'm looking at my little couple that just got married not too long ago. One of you there, one of you there. Inner peace will reveal to you the reason you are alive and allow you to know greater joy. Was she joyous? Was she joyous? I mean, it's just like I really see her in Myrtle Fillmore, sort of on the exact same place. And your soul is ageless. So the next party, just, put ageless on your cake. Why not? I'm ageless, right? And And just breathe into the joy of that we are together having this amazing conversation, because I'll tell you, we really are, we're not here to just listen. We're here to live. We're here to really allow your light to make everyone see better. Yeah? We ended up on Thursday with a Sufi poem. I'd like to say it together. If you're not able to see, it's fine, because it'll really just be the vibration of this poem. We'll come up here and just be with it. If you don't want to say it, please just listen, all right? Because we're all going to be in this together. So here we go. I asked for strength, and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom, and God gave me problems to learn to solve. I asked for prosperity, and God gave me a brain and brawn to work. I asked for courage, and God gave me dangers to overcome. I asked for love, and God gave me people to help. I asked for favors, and God gave me opportunities. I received nothing I wanted. I received everything I needed. All right, so we breathe into that beautiful place of truth. I'd like yourselves to give yourselves a hand for being a peacemaker on this planet. And let this God experience of peace in you just continue to radiate. We're going to sing a song about opening up and sweet surrender, because all we have to do is surrender to this ministry that is yours. We're going to sing as a round. We'll sing it all together once. This group will go first, then this group. And then at the end, Gretchen's going to bring you out in a very familiar chant. All we are saying is give peace a chance. She's going to invite the women to sing, and then the men to sing, and then so you just follow Gretchen. She's your leader. She knows how to do it. So y'all just let go and let Gretchen. Yeah, there you go. All right. So here we go. That's right. So here we go.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world.
I am opening up in sweet surrender
I
to
am
the luminous love light of the world. I am opening up in sweet surrender
I am
to the luminous love light of the world.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world.
I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the world. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening.
So we allow that surrendered, opened space in our hearts to be inspired by the life of Jesus by the life of A.J. Must, by the life of Peggy Lipschitz, by the life of the Peace Pilgrim, and to know that that energy is in each and every one of us. That's a lot to say. My gosh, I really have a lot of power in being a peacemaker. My one body, my one voice, my one soul is all it takes. So we rest in that knowing and allow you to bring to mind any situation in your life and just surround it with the peace of you. Christmas is about the birth of a new consciousness. And that's what we're doing right here and right now.
All we are saying is give peace a chance. Sing with me. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All we are saying is give peace a chance. All the women, all together. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Now just the men. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Now quiet. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Silently to yourself. Now together. Take hands if you want. Let's sing out strong. All we are saying is give peace a chance. Send it out to this world right now. All we are saying is give peace a chance. One more time. All we are saying is give peace a chance.
So we breathe into a new vibration of peace, of openness, of power. And in that powerful place of your heart, please state any names, any situations that you'd like to hold in prayer energy. We know the moment we state someone's name or situation, it is immediately shifted because of the shift in our own heart. So we bless this time together. We bless this community, the creation of this service, our musicians, our staff, all the people that come together to make this happen, all of our volunteers, people that show up to be about peace, be about love, be about joy. Each and every one of us here. So we bless this time together. Thank you, God, for answered prayers, for wellness, and for holding the high watch within ourselves and within each other. And so it is. Amen. Beautiful. Just to let you know, you know what? I apologize. The people here on our list, let's just send love to these folks. I don't know if you know John and Gloria, but Gloria called me yesterday, and John had heart surgery, and things happened where he's now intubated and he's resting. He's at Loyola in Maywood. If at the hospital there, I'll go on Monday. But just to really send John and Gloria a lot of love in this moment. Let's just do that with them. Thank you, God. All right, I want to tell you that we are very blessed to have prayer chaplains to pray with you and to celebrate with you. And so they're right around the corner in the Fillmore room after the service. I see Rosie back there. Yeah, Rosie's here. And let's see. And oh, good, Patty's here. Yes. And there's Thomas here. Yeah. Any other chaplains? All right, so they're right around the corner, beloved souls, and do take a moment to go be with them. All right. So we're going to celebrate now our abundance and our giving, and giving to this place that you've been given to for so many years that it just stays vibrant and well and blesses so many lives. I also want to thank everyone that's in our abundant giving program, because that's our recurring giving program, and you're welcome to sign up for it, any amount. But it allows us to have recurring giving, so when you're off on the holidays or something else is happening, you can't be here, your consciousness and abundance, of course, still is. So we're going to say our affirmation for abundance and prosperity and giving. And so here we go. I am abundance in action. There is no lack in my life. I give from the fullness of what I receive. In faith, I know that giving creates a void that will be quickly and lovingly filled. I hold a vision of thriving for myself and for unity in Chicago, and so it is, and God is my source.
All right. I got some backup here with these strong, wonderful singer from the higher ground. All right. Help me out, everybody. Clap if you want. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. One more time. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Yeah!
Thank you, Gretchen. All right, you all should make a CD that we could sell. I mean, come on, that would really, I know, I tell you, it'd work. It would. All right, yay. Fantastic. Hi, Nori, how'd you sneak into this? Somebody gave you a basket. That was great. Yay. All right. So we just breathe into all this abundance and just feel you are making the world a better place. This is how you become a peacemaker, as you share your abundance in the world. So we bless these love offerings and tithes. We know they bless this community. Go out and exchange hands over and over and come right back into your lives in amazing ways. So repeat after me. I am gratitude in action. I give easily. I receive gratefully. And all is well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Didn't you like the Peace Pilgrim? I told you. You're just such a Peace Pilgrim yourself, John. I'm just saying. All right. Okay, so I told you about the Advent book. Read your bulletin. It's all full on the back. That's because there's all kinds of things going on. The second, we usually have our women's group on the second Wednesday, but we're going to have it on the third Wednesday. So that has changed. That's probably incorrect. So on the 20th, you are welcome to come. All women are welcome, and that's on the 20th now. The Soul of Money class, the last class that I was talking about, we're meeting this Thursday. It's a wonderful group to just come together and talk about how to be a peacemaker on the planet. Next Sunday is our Wear a Funny Sweater, a silly sweater, just really dress up in your Christmas attire. We're going to have it's going to be for the children. We're going to have a bake sale, and all the money's going to the youth department, but I invite you to just be silly and do your Christmassy stuff. Don't hold back. We have the didgeridoo chorus on the 21st, the Christmas, the winter equinox. Lots going on, so please read that. Christmas Eve is a Sunday, and so is New Year's Eve. So we're going to have our services. We won't have a service in the morning. We'll just have services at 5 on Christmas Eve and on New Year's Eve. At 5 on Christmas Eve, we're having the Peter Polzak Trio. We have Sean Harris, Gretchen Goodrich, Suzanne Palmer. You're going to all light a candle, just like AJ, Hunt. Must. Yes, you will all be doing our thing. Don't let the country change you. Don't let anything change you. So Christmas Eve, please come, and New Year's Eve, please come. That's when we burn all the things we want to release. It's an amazing transformational service. All right, so we're going to welcome Annette Gipp one more moment, and take your bulletin with you and read it well.
I see some new faces here. To those of you who are joining for the first time, we're so glad you joined us and hope you've enjoyed your experience. We have a token of appreciation as a reminder of your time here. So if this is your first, second, or third visit, raise your hand high so we can find you. A member of the welcome team will be handing you something. Great. The people we hope you've had a wonderful time, and we'll see you again and again and again. The people who are passing out the flowers are members of our welcome team. They have on pink badges and will be available following the service to greet you and answer any questions you might have. And that's not just for the new people. Anybody that has questions is welcome to ask them. You're also being given a packet about Unity in Chicago and Unity in general. Please feel free to read that and go through it. And also, we have a little card we'd like you to fill out, how you heard about us and so forth, and so we can keep in touch with you and send you email blasts or something to let you know what's going on here. So if you take that to the Sunshine Gallery that's right out there to meet with the welcome people, you'll get a tote bag to save you 7 cents every time you go to Jewel. Today's flowers are donated in celebration of Peggy Lipshitz's 99th birthday, and we're just so pleased you're here. And these you can take home today. You don't have to wait till Christmas Eve. You can take them home today because they're for you to enjoy. If you'd like to donate flowers, we have some. We have a couple of dates left this year and, of course, in the future. So stop by the information desk or email Tammy with a Y at unitychicago.org to reserve your dates. And I have a couple other reminders. Our wonderful pet ministry run by Carol Stiegel is always looking for people to adopt for forever or foster homes. We got 2 little putty cats here today. And please see Carol to see what you can do to adopt or foster a pet. Great Christmas gift. That would be great. Oh, they're lovely. We have so many amazing events, as Reverend Heidi pointed out earlier, in your bulletin, that are listed in your bulletin, and that are in our twice-a-week email blasts. So if we don't have your email address, go downstairs, by the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, and please sign up. Give us your email address. And go to unitychicago.org. And there's always something there. I find stuff there all the time that I didn't know we were doing. So now I'm going to tell you, we're blowing your socks off right now. Because we've got higher ground, and you won't believe it.
Have an early Merry Christmas to all of everyone here. I just wanted to say this is a song that I know a lot of my choir members have begged to sing for years. And finally we had enough members. Doesn't the choir look great? Look how big they are. So we are going to sing it. We worked really hard. We worked Sundays and Mondays, and I wanted to thank Shar for all her great help in sectionals. And also Frank created the binder covers. They're real beautiful. He painted them. So thank you. Also, we start again. We take January off. We start singing rehearsals February 5th, 7 to 9 every Monday. We'd love to have more members to join in our spiritual family. Thanks.
believe we are forever changed. So you all take that in, how much you have blessed the world by just what you just did. It's extraordinary, extraordinary, extraordinary. Thank you for all your time and for all your effort and for those voices. Unbelievable. Can y'all believe this? I mean, it's just been amazing. We're all waiting for that CD, I'm just telling you. All right, so there's no way to peace. Peace is the way, and they have showed us. There you go. So let us weave ourselves out of here and just have a beautiful day.